Up. Let's talk about a quick edit that we have. You guys said you wanted an outdoor session edit, and I'm happy to do that for you. In fact, I love to do that for you. We have been a little bit limited with what we can shoot outdoors thus far this year because it's cold in Cleveland. I don't know if you guys are around here or if you're north or south, but up north, have mercy. It's ridiculous. So I'm pulling a session from last spring. It's one of my favorites. It's the Farm Fresh Dream session, and I loved it so much. It was supposed to be a session with a lamb, and yeah, it kind of was, but then this goat really lit it up for us. So let's talk about it here. I'm pulling in a camera raw file. I shoot Canon. If we want to take a look, we're ISO 640, 70 millimeters, 2.8 at 1/1600th of a second up here, and let's do our thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is BGP. It's all good. It doesn't do a whole lot. It increases shadows, and then down under corrections, it removes the aberration and enables profile correction. So that means there's not going to be a big old vignette around the side of it. So I like to do that on basically every session. I like to remove the vignette and just start really fresh. This is my crop on it. Cool, happy, loving it. Let's take a peek at this. When we start talking about temperature, I'm always shooting at 5500. That is what my camera is set for. But on a warm spring night, I think we can afford to go up just a little bit here. I'm really happy with the boys' complexions, but Miss Kendall here is she's a little bit blown out. So, okay, we're just going to take it down a bit, and we'll handle this in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and Command E. I'm on a Mac. I'm going to give my computer a minute. It takes a minute to think about it. And let's hook it up in Photoshop. So I like how everybody looks. Obviously, I brought the exposure down and the highlights down to make sure that Kendall was good to go. So I'm going to bring that back. Focus on Me is my favorite. To bring back some of the details, I'm going 30% brush on that. Bingo, you can already see how things are just coming back into focus. Shift Command E is gonna get my layers down. And then Kendall was a little bright over here, so we brought the exposure down, right, in Lightroom. I wanna even the boys out a little bit. So I'm at a 70% brush with Let There Be Light, which is simply a curves layer. Nothing crazy. Take it up to 80%. Much better. A few things in this image that are bothering me. The first is this elk butt. Don't act like you didn't see it. You saw the elk butt. I need that elk butt to go. That elk was chasing us the entire session. Okay, using the clone tool, getting rid of elk butt. Love it. Perfect. The fence doesn't bother me. I mean, we shot at 2.8, so that doesn't make too much of trouble to me at all. And I'm taking a look at this overall edit, and I'm pretty happy so far. I'm going to go Filter, Imagonic, Portraiture. You guys, portraiture is life. Picking skin tones here of exactly what I want. Okay. It's going to create it on a separate layer. I can erase it off anything that I want to. So oftentimes I kind of want to erase it off of eyes or areas that weren't perfectly in focus anyways. Bingo. Flattening that layer, saving that layer, and when I go back to Lightroom, boom, she there. So we have the old edit. We know that because there's an elk butt. New edit, no elk butt. And in this image, I want to bring up the warmth. So obviously, yeah, we can hit the temperature up, and I will a little bit, but I want to talk about how I love to bring up the warmth, and that is under split toning. So that way I can bring up only the warmth in the highlights or only the warmth in the shadows. So for this image, I'm particularly concerned with the highlights. There's a lot more highlight than shadow because I'm light and bright and airy. So that's kind of what I do. So I'm going to bring that saturation up just a little bit. 7-8%, and you can see how much the highlights change it, right? We can really control this a lot. I like a warm glow on my itty bitties, so I usually like to stay somewhere between, I don't know, 30 and 60. For this one, a nice summer day, we'll go 50 with it. and love it. We cloned out an elk butt. We changed some temperatures. Pretty simple, brought some things back into focus. And I would call this a finished product. Mwah. I'm going to hit this guy with a watermark and call it a day. If you guys have any questions, holler at me. If you want anything specific, holler at me. You know I love taking good care of you guys and teaching you the BGP way. Talk to you soon. Bye.